Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are when you're watching this video. I wanted to make a short-ish video of my blankets. So I'm going to show you 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of my blankets. Because the thing is, these blankets need to find a home. But I want to have them recorded before I send them off permanently away from me. Now, the one that you see on the bed here at the moment is the Yanni Fiber Sister Crochet Along for last year, 2022. I absolutely love this. We made each month according to a calendar, and it started in the center, and then we went out from there. Beautiful. I even think I have it upside down. This is my king size bed. That's the best place I could find to display this and show you what it looks like. Beautiful. There you go. I've tried to throw it open again, and now so that you could see. So there's no pattern for this, if you want to know. There is no pattern. We were just given stitches. We could try, we could just do our own thing, as long as we stuck to the picture and the colors for the month. So I thoroughly enjoyed that, and I want to thank Jeannie from Butterfly Dreams Crochet and More, and Veronica from Steals the Show Crochet and More. I know she changed her name to Crochet with Llama V, I believe now. My apologies, V. I have been sick, so I am missing out on a little bit. Okay, so I wanted to show you this one. I absolutely adore it. So let's go on to the next blanket. This is acrylic, by the way. Acrylic blanket, 100%. It was a scrappy project. I loved it. Okay, let me fetch the next blanket. I find it better if I just put the camera still here because I shake too much. This is a scrappy blanket of the Havana blanket. First time I did mosaic blankets, went to the Tina Thorvaldar's channel and did mosaic blankets. I can show you here. This is all acrylic, just scraps. If it worked well, as you can see, it did work well. That is just fantastic, happy accidents. I love the border. You can see the border. I absolutely adore the border. If you're going to make her blankets, take the time to make the border. This one I did not count stitches. Also acrylic, look at the wrong side. Just stripes. Beautiful, just stripes. So you can use it on either side. What does it matter? It is gorgeous. But of course it is most beautiful on the correct side. There you go, beautiful. This is going to be a gift for someone, cannot tell you who, and they loved this blanket from the first time they saw it. And now it is their birthday and I've decided to gift it to them. What else can I tell you about this? I used a 4mm hook. This is 3-weight yarn. I love 3-weight yarn. I love making blankets. And yes, this one is beautiful. It did take me 4 weeks to make the blanket. And then it took me 4 weeks to make the border. Insane, but still. So it took me as long to make the border as it took me to make the entire blanket. But as you can see, it's worth it. It took me, I said it took me 4 weeks to make the blanket, 4 weeks to make the border, and that was the only project I worked on. So You know me, I don't work on a lot of projects. I just work on my 1, 2, or 3 projects. So anyway, I hope you can see the colors beautifully. This is on my king size bed. This absolutely covers a South African 3/4 size bed. In South Africa, you get a single bed, 3/4, double, king, queen and king. So this is bigger than a single, which is a 3/4 bed, and that is absolutely covers it beautifully, hangs nicely over the edges as well. Okay, so let's go on to the next blanket. I absolutely adore this blanket that Laura's Yarn Talk on YouTube put a pattern out. There was no pattern, but I saw her do this project and I said, Laura, please, even if you just write down what you did, you have to just write it down so that I can do the same. Now this is a 3-weight blanket, double knit blanket, 8-ply blanket, as you call it in Australia, 8-ply, knitted. And I used 4mm needles. Now the name escapes me and you are shouting at the camera the name of those needles that are connected with a plastic wire. Yes, that is what I used. And then on the border there is a mosaic stitch, crochet border. So this is her simple combo blanket. You have the lovely crochet, if you like crochet, there you have it. You have your, I have 10 centimeters, 4 inches of crochet Mustache. Mosaic. Did I say mosaic? Please forgive me. I still have mosaic on my brain. Mustache border crocheted around a scrappy. Now I cannot tell you exactly what. I don't want to give away the pattern. But it is a simple combo blanket on Ravelry. Go and check it out. Really not expensive pattern. She shows you exactly what to do. Tells you exactly what to do. I just love this. It is so light because it was knitted. Now, I am part of the challengers, and every last Saturday of the month, we challenge ourselves. You know, we come together and we show you how we've challenged ourselves to learn something new. And I know how to knit, but I wanted to make a knitted blanket. And I'm going to show you, the next blanket I show you is the temperature blanket. When I finished my temperature blanket, which I only worked on every weekend, here comes the weekends. They are now free. I am at a loss. So I replaced it with this blanket. I would only work on it on a weekend. And okay, now some weekends I did not. Why? Because I was putting out a tutorial or something to that effect. So here this was my weekend project. Weekends I don't think of anything. I just spend the Saturday or the Sunday and I just knit. And I used I call a magic ball. It is really scraps tied together with a magic knot. So it's like a free blanket. I absolutely loved that. I love blankets, and if it feels like it's a free blanket because you don't have to go and buy the yarn, all the more reason to do it. So there you go, beautiful. Anyway, so this one, I will leave the link in the description box. Anything that I leave out to tell you, I will put in the description box. Let me fold this one up and we get to the next one. There we go. This is my temperature blanket. I think I did this in, was it 2021, 2022? I will put the link in the description box for you. This is crochet Mustache. First time I did Mustache. This is Granny D from Knit Pearl and Squirrel with Granny D Thompson. That's her favorite stitch, is Mustache. I loved doing this. It's the perfect stitch for a temperature blanket. So here I have the opposite. I have a Mustache blanket with a knitted border. I knitted the enclosed border. Fantastic. Also 3-weight. I took all the advice that TL Yarn Crafts gave on how to do a temperature blanket so that it is not a humongous project, and that you can complete it. And I only worked on it every weekend. I did my 7 rows for the week. And of course, my weather is the opposite of the USA. I am in the southern hemisphere, so you can see in the middle of my blanket it's cold, and in the beginning and in the end it's very hot. I used Celsius, and yes, I recorded only the highs of every day. I will leave the link to tell you everything I did for this blanket. If you are ever contemplating doing a temperature blanket for the year of your birth, the birth of a grandchild, the year you got married, so many reasons to do a temperature blanket. But please choose a yarn that you love to work with. Anyway, this is also for South Africans. I can tell you it's a good size for a 3/4 bed. Beautiful to cover it. The texture is so beautiful. I think this is very close to knitted, but it doesn't have as much give as the actual knitted blanket that I showed you. The actual knitted blanket, which is there on top, that one has a lot of give. Yes, this one does not. It's very beautiful, thin. I think that's the thing. It's close to knitting because it is thin. Anyway, so let's grab the next blanket. This blanket I did this year, 2023, and it was the Scrappy Calendar Crochet along with the Yanni Fiber Sisters. I absolutely adore this blanket because they gave us a lot of freedom. Jeannie and Veronica gave us a lot of freedom in stitches to choose. They did provide a stitch tutorial, a little tutorial, how the stitches that you can use, but they say you can use more stitches. You can do, if there's something else you want to do, another stitch you want to put in, feel free and do it. And I love the freedom that they gave us. And they also said, this time, don't choose a calendar that is in America, in the USA. You can choose one. I am in Cape Town, South Africa. I could choose a calendar from South Africa. So I chose a calendar. And now the calendar, I worked ahead, guys. It wasn't even the half of the year and my blanket was finished. And every month I did my 12 rows, and it was scrap yarn only. And this is the scrap yarn from my temperature blanket. I did not go and buy yarn, which is why you can see, for instance, here I used a double crochet, chain 1 double crochet, because I did not know if I was going to have enough yarn left, right? And here on the side, I just used a lot of rows that, it came from the rows in the blanket. And this side, I used a square. I wanted to make something like a starburst, and I couldn't find something that I liked, a tutorial that I liked. So I made up my own. So this tutorial for this square is on my channel, and it's called the Berry Burst. You guys, my viewers and subscribers, help me to pick the name for this tutorial. I absolutely love the squares at the end of the blanket. I think it really brings out the beauty. So there you are. This is the finished product. Lovely acrylic blanket, 3-weight, actually a thin 3-weight. I love it, and it's beautiful just to put over me when I am watching a movie or whatever. Again, thank you to Jeannie and Veronica for hosting the crochet along. I absolutely enjoyed it. Before I forget, I want to say, people ask me, is there a pattern for this blanket? Now, as I say, Veronica and Jeannie did put their tutorials out, so I don't think ethically it's correct for me to put a tutorial out. But what I do have is a playlist called Watch Me Crochet. So every month when I did my 12 rows, every Sunday I issue or publish a 1-hour video of Watch Me Crochet. Some music along with me simply sitting and crocheting. It's as if I come into your house, you invite me to come and sit next to you, and I crochet and we listen to some music. Put it on mute if you don't like the music. Put your own music on. So in my Watch Me Crochet list, you will find me sitting working on this blanket. And I do it very clearly, so it doesn't take a genius, but there is no talking and no instruction. I mean, that is clear. There is no talking and no instruction. But if you want to go see me working on it, check out the Watch Me Crochet list. Let's go and take the next blanket. This is a blanket that I adore, and it was inspired by a little pink blanket that many of you who attend the Monday and the Friday live streams have seen it. It was made for my grandmother to put over her Singer sewing machine, and this was my attempt of copying that. I wanted to make a scrappy granny square blanket. Now, the definition to me of scrappy is how they would have done it, how this lady who did it 50 odd years ago would have done it was, you literally used scrap. So no square looks the same, and they are all different colors, and the color to use that I use to put it together, as you can see, is a beautiful hot pink. Now in the same color range, I used a hot pink, and then I used this peach frill border, which I adore. I think it looks beautiful. This is a 3-weight. It's 100 squares, 10 by 10. I love granny squares, that's what you know. I mean, that is why my channel is OM Granny Square. It is my passion, it's my place where I calm down. I can solve the world's problems while I am crocheting granny squares. It is just, to me, the most wonderful thing, a classic. This blanket is big enough. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rounds of color, and the round number 6 is how I join. Now I want to show you the other side. It is worked together, yeah, you can see, with a crochet joining technique that leaves a ridge. Now sometimes this is your feature in a blanket, but in this blanket I wanted it not to be a feature. I wanted it to be smooth, so this side is the correct side, and the side with a ridge is the incorrect side, the wrong side. But who knows? Who cares? It looks beautiful on both sides. So to me, it is just adorable. I do have a tutorial on how to make this blanket. Who needs a tutorial to do this? Well, maybe someone who has never done a granny square blanket. There you go. It is on my channel. Let's grab the second last blanket. There you go. The next one is the Celtic cable throw by Bonnie Bay Crochet. This was a challenge of the challengers. The challengers meet the last Saturday of every month. You can even find a playlist on my channel called The Challengers. We challenge each other to learn something new. And this was, the year I made this was last year, 2022. And I have never made crochet cables. I can knit cables very well. I can knit very well, but I have never crocheted cables. So I looked up this tutorial by Bonnie by Crochet and I started it. Now let me just tell you, I finished about halfway. And then what happened is, other things happened, life happened. So what did I do? When I wanted to pick it up again to do it, I could for the life of me not grasp what she was saying. Not that it's her fault. The penny didn't drop. So I had to, this entire section here, I pulled out up to that row and I did it again. And then I decided, hey, let's learn from your mistakes. I'm not going to do that again. So I just worked on this blanket until it was done. Now, by the time I finished this blanket, I had enough of crochet cables. Now I must say, this is the good thing about the challengers. If you want to take part in the challengers, once a month we come together and we say, you know, have you made a little bit of progress? It's being informally held accountable. If I did not have to make this for the challengers, I would have probably frogged this entire blanket. But because I know, oh, they are going to ask, how far is it? Because I was making good progress. I had to push through. So sometimes, just sometimes, we need to push through. But by the time I reached the end of this blanket, I ended it off not the way that Bonnie Bay did it on her tutorial. I just did the rib stitch, front post, back post, because I'd had enough. I'd had enough. So go and look it up. I'll leave the link in the description box. I did do the tassels. I think the tassels are absolutely gorgeous. This is, oh, let me show you the wrong side. There we go. On the wrong side, how can you see? There we go. It's literally a single crochet blanket on the wrong side, but also a lot of detail still, hey. So isn't that marvelous? You still get a lot of detail on the wrong side. Beautiful, like that. But this is just the right size to have to put over your lap. That is what I made it for. The brown to go in my bedroom. Now, you work this, I want to say, you know, if you knit, you're going to start at the rib at the bottom and you're going to knit upwards. No, not with this. With this, you start one side and you crochet to the other side. So you actually work on it sideways, which also was very new to me because, yeah, I was used to crocheting, knitting cables. And knitting cables is from the bottom up, not from left to right or from right to left. But be that as it may, this blanket is done and dusted, and I'm so happy to see the end of it. Let me grab the last blanket. There we go, we're on the last blanket. Oh, I hope there's not a lot of noise from the neighbors. Let's just get this video done. This is another Havana blanket. Now, I tell you, the one thing about wanting to work up your scraps that is disappointing in this blanket is that this blanket actually does not take up a lot of yarn. So you will get to the end of your project and not have used up as much as you would have hoped to have used up. So on the one side it's good because if you don't have a lot of yarn, you can make this blanket. But if you're hoping to destash, you need to make more than one. Now this is the same, exactly the same as that one I made there, that colorful one. But this one is made in this scraps, all scraps in this colorway, and I think the border makes it. Guys, do the trouble and make the border. There you go. You see all these beautiful colors. Beautiful colors. It is such an easy pattern. Let me turn it over for you. And we have a stripy back. Let me see if you can see. In the back, what I did was I simply put stripes in that border. Can you see there? Simply put stripes in the border to use up scrap yarn, but it looks beautiful. I absolutely love it. This one is going to my mother. She saw it and she just fell in love. She wants it. And yes, if she wants it, she can have it. Why not? Look at that. I love that. Anyway, so that is my blankets so far. I have another video which I will leave in the very back to show you a video of blankets I made before I started my YouTube channel. And of course the rest is given away. But before I give this away, I thought, let me just quickly make a video of more blankets. Maybe you are wanting to make a blanket and you need a little bit of inspiration, motivation. You need to see, hey, maybe I should learn how to do mosaic. I have a video. If you are still intimidated by mosaic, I will link the video in the description box. How I tell you how the penny dropped for me. And I am not a fast learner, guys. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. And please give a like, leave a comment if you want. Post it in our Facebook group every Monday when I do a live stream. I actually go over to the Facebook group and I show my YouTube viewers what you've been posting on Facebook, the OM Granny Square Facebook group. So thank you very much. If you check out my playlist for more content, because I have playlists and my aim is to populate my playlists with videos. So this is my blankets for now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blankets that I shared with you. And again, thank you so much for watching. I think my voice has had enough strain for the moment. Cannot take much more. I need to have a hot drink now. And yes, I see you in my next video or tutorial or on a live stream, Monday or Friday. Thank you. Bye.